So you're still interested in the Sefton?
We would be interested in any business which fits our profile. Now, we operate four-star hotels such as this one. Now, if a four-star hotel in this area becomes available on the Isle of Man, I mean, we know the Isle of Man well, we're here, we're doing very, very well here, then clearly we would be interested.
Okay. Now, I'm only going from things I've heard, and I'm sure you know more than I do, but the problems were, first of all, the timing, because it's before TT, and if things had to close. Secondly, the casino license would be a very difficult thing to have transferred if it had gone into liquidation, because there's a process that license is fixed to the Sefton Group, and therefore it could have been closed for weeks or months, whatever. You've heard all this. I'm sure you've heard all these things. Yeah. Can you put any meat in the bones for me if these were things that you can see why?
I'm not sure about the technicalities of the license, but what I can say is that as part of the estate of companies which we Sleepwell are part of, we have people who are specialists in the gaming industry who we can contact, and they are colleagues. So we have those resources within the greater company to be able to adapt what we do and to be able to call on specialist advice.
You would only, though, have wanted certain parts of this group, going back to that question, because, I mean, the Sefton seems to have fingers in a lot of pies. You wouldn't have been wanting to take the whole lot on. That would be absolutely clear.
Well, we operate hotels.
Yeah, but they did more
than hotels.
So
for Sleepwell, we operate hotels. I can't comment on anything else, but we would certainly have been interested in the hotel assets.
And still are, by sounds of it.
And still are, but it's inappropriate for me to talk about, you know, other people. That's not fair. I mean, there are people working in these businesses, and it's not appropriate for us to come out and, you know, and say things like, we want to buy this or we want to buy that. What I'm saying is, and making it very, very clear, that if the situation changes as it currently stands, then we would work with the government and we would work to find a long-term solution.
Now, other things that have always been mentioned is that the government's probably going to try and put people into that hotel group if they're doing government work, because, you know, they want to try and get the thing back up and running. You must have heard those sort of things.
It would be a concern. Well, we've
that?
been reassured that that's not the case. So, I mean, you know, let's just leave that there.
And overall, before we finish, where do you see the Isle of Man? I mean, there's still a lot of things going on, a lot of finance jobs possibly at risk. Well, how do you rate the future?
Well, we feel very, very positive. I mean, we wouldn't have invested into our business here, for example, if we didn't feel there was a reasonable chance to get some kind of return on that investment. But what we see is that there is a market there for a discerning executive business traveller that wants good quality hotel accommodation. They want good service. They want a, you know, fit for purpose product. And we feel that with the investment we've made so far, that we can cater successfully for that that type of client.
Okay, and as a hotel group, can you get Manx workers? Because, I mean, most of the hotels do seem to have a lot of Europeans working there, Eastern Europeans. Do you have that same problems?
Well, we have a mixture of local Manx workers, we have a mixture of English, European, we have South African workers, we have Filipino workers. I mean, to us, it doesn't really matter where they come from. What they have to be able to do is to provide excellent service.
And that's my point. Can you get that quality service?
We can, yeah. I mean, we're very, very proud of our team here. We have a fantastic team here, and it makes no difference to us what the nationality is. What's important is that they are hardworking, reliable, charming to our guests, and give great service.
And you've led the way with government, funny enough, on trying to get people into this sort of business, haven't you? In the past, I've done interviews with you on this.
We had a NEETs training scheme, so that was mainly youngsters who went to employment or education. And we also ran a training academy over the winter, which was again in partnership with the DED, and we had 20 long-term unemployed people who came to work in one of our hotels in a sort of a training academy, and it was about giving them some skills, it was about giving them life skills, it was about sort of having interview techniques, etc. And then they went off into the workplace and found jobs wherever. I think we were able to employ about 3 of them, and then the rest went off and did what they needed to do, and hopefully have found careers. But it was a partnership with DED to help people find a way back into employment. And if that brings people into catering and hospitality, then great, because there is a need here for that.
you.